All right, let's get started. Tell us where you're joining from and your name. And today we are glad to host you in our monthly event where Prowess Leadership. And Prowess Leadership is actually the operating name for the Prowess Company Inc. And we've been working in the background, and but now we want to bring people together, have a conversation. Why do we exist? We exist to build leaders and agents of change. And I believe all of us in this room, we have something in us that qualifies us to be an agent of change. Our core beliefs is that everyone is valuable. We all have unique skills, talent, abilities that we all need to respect, that I'm unique, you're unique, and we have something to contribute. And the other thing that we see is personal leadership, that each of us need to take self-responsibility for achieving success. And we want to partner with everyone we come in contact with, and you are in the room today, that we all need to keep working at our success. Don't give up. And that's our encouragement to you. And I'd like to introduce myself as the co-founder of Prowess Leadership. My name is Ruth Ola, and in the room with me today is my husband. We co-found this organization together, Dr. Dele Ola. And with that, I think I will bring up today's topic and we'll get going. Are you ready for the future of work? And I know that topic resonated with you when you saw it. That's why you joined this event today. And today, the way we'll go is I will be putting Dr. Dele Ola on the hot seat with some questions. And at the same time, I'll be engaging all of us to participate. I'll be asking questions. Sometimes I'll say type in the chat. We'll use polls. And if you want to unmute yourself to speak, we'll allow you to comment, and it'll be a great discussion. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's get started. Everyone have been talking about future of work. I believe if you just go on Google and browse it, there have been countless articles, surveys, seminars, webinars, talking about future of work, the fast rate of change, how it's affecting our work, how we work, who we work with, and all that. But today that we are coming together to talk about it again, I would like us to start, and this one I'll put it to you, Dele. What factors make the future of work a topic that we must discuss and that we all need to do something about? So Dele, with that, you will get us started. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ruth, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere, wherever we're joining from. My name is Dele Ola, and I've been introduced by Ruth. And my responsibility here is to just get us started, because I'm not sure if I can do full justice to this question. What factors make the future of work a topic that we must discuss? But let's start this way. We all know and we are aware that there is an unprecedented shift in the labor market today. And that shift is such that it has created opportunities for lots of people, with many jobs now available but unable to be filled. We know that there are certain aspects of career, like type of work or jobs, where there is a lot of opportunities. And in fact, we've not been able to find enough people to be able to fill the space. But at the same time, there is also this rise in unemployment across the world, because there are many other people that are skilled somewhat, or people that are not skilled in certain areas, and the jobs are not really there anymore. So we saw that shift in labor market. Things have always shifted over hundreds and hundreds of years, we know that, but it looks like today the shift is a little bit more alarming. And I could remember that as a young kid, growing up, our parents kind of were able to support us in choosing some certain careers or profession, because the lines and the options were clear. For example, when I was growing up, when I was in high school, you would think about becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a carpenter, a mechanic, a mason, or an engineer, an architect. There are so many career options then, but the lines were clear. the reality is that today we can't really say that those career lines are clear like they used to be maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago. It looks like there is a lot of overlap between the different careers, and things are becoming more fluid, things are becoming more integrated, such that the lines of career are not that clear like it used to be. And the reason for all of these things, some of us are aware of it. We know that things are changing very fast. The world is not the same again. We know that one of the forces that are changing things for us is technology. We know technological advancement is pushing the limits. There are so many things that we could not do 10 years ago, 20 years ago that are now possible. But I want to say that it's not only technology that is pushing the limits. Look at it. What about climate change? We know that there is a push towards like green energy, things around electrification of vehicles. We want to manage the climate and all of that. And because of that, we are pushing the limits. The world population has grown also. A few years ago, we would say that we are 7 billion people on Earth. But right now, we are talking about 7.8 or even pushing close to 8 billion people. So that is also shifting something. Look at the socio-political situation. Look at what's going on around the world. Look at how trade is being negotiated between countries, trade, whether it's trade liberalization or even protectionism of economies. Look at the definition of mobility and transportation today. 50 years ago, people were not this mobile. And because of that mobility, we can see that our communities and demographics are also changing. We have changes in economic policies and so many other factors that are changing the way the future of work will be impacted. And I also want to say that today, if you go to study something in school, let's say you go for a degree that takes you maybe 4 or 5 years to achieve, that 4 or 5 years may be enough for that program of study to be obsolete, totally obsolete before you graduate. Because if you look at how technology is changing so rapidly, where we were 5 years ago is not exactly where we are today. And I can give you examples from my own life. I remember in the 1990s, I worked with my parents to get enrolled in a computer training program. And in that computer training program, I learned how to write commands in DOS, so DOS prompt. So the way we work with computer, there were 3 parts of the computer. Then you have a keyboard, you have a CPU, and then you have a monitor. So you would type things on using your keyboard on the backslash something, whatever in DOS, and you call the programs. And I learned 3 softwares then. I learned Lotus 123 for spreadsheets. I learned WordPerfect 5.1. I learned DBase 4 for database management, and we called them up. I remembered the WordPerfect 5.1 then, there were 14 diskettes. We used to call them diskettes. So if you want to install the program, you have to be able to work in DOS prompt and then be able to load all 14 diskettes, and that's the program. But before the end of the 1990s, we all know what happened before year 2000. There was Windows 95 and then Windows 98, and then we had the Windows Millennium. All these things changed everything, and we did not do computer work as we did during that training. And I remembered also in the early 2000s, I enrolled in another 6 months training program in computer, and that program was around like hardware and software configuration for new computers. So it was based on the A+ curriculum of those days. So I remembered that the curriculum was based on Windows Millennium and maybe Windows 2000, something of that nature. So if you learned hardware and the communication protocols and all the cloning and all the programming, the installation and everything, you learned based on that. But then shortly after, we had Windows XP and some of the things were changing. So if you certified for A+, 4 or 5 years before those new operating systems came on board, things have changed, and then you have to go back and relearn again. And now you fast forward to today, you can tell me that things have changed a lot. And that is what we are talking about, the future of work. Things are changing very rapidly. The world is dynamic. But what makes it to be so dynamic is the pace of change. It is more rapid than ever before. And if that is the case, our approach to work must also follow the dynamics of that changing world. Otherwise, we are going to be outpaced and become irrelevant to the future of work. And I'm using that word irrelevant very carefully because I really mean it. In the next 5 years, some people will become irrelevant to the future of work. And I will give you example from history. And this is something that you all know. You can Google it, you can find out, or you probably had experience if you are maybe older than me. So we know that some careers are already obsolete. For example, career like typist or word processor. 50 years ago, if you were a typist or a word processor, you had a job. But today, you don't have a job. What about video store clerk? In the days of Blockbuster, it was DVD by mail, right? You go to a store, you go to rent a DVD, and you had store attendants, people that were trained to be able to sort out different DVDs and be able to provide you what you need. That job is gone. What about switchboard operator? I remember growing up as a kid, we went to a company that managed all of the telephony for our city. Growing up in West Africa then, we paid some money, we dialed some numbers, the switchboard operator picked our call, they routed it to whether it's the United Kingdom we are calling or the US or something. That's how we grew up. But that switchboard operator never exists again. What about movie projectionists? We have people in the days of cinema where you use a projector, right? That was a career for somebody to be a projectionist, a technician in charge of that equipment. Even that equipment doesn't exist. Maybe it exists only in the museum today. So now fast forward to today, some jobs will not be there in the next 5 or 10 years. And we can think about them. Some of them will be obsolete soon. Let me ask you a question. When last did you book your flight through a travel agent? You probably use Expedia or Priceline, or you use Flight Hub, or you went directly to the airline. So that travel agent's job is shaky. We're not sure if it's going to be here in 10 years. What about cashier? What about bank teller, right? When last did you stand at the bank to withdraw money or to do transactions? You don't go there as often as it used to be. What about mail carrier? What about insurance underwriter? What about telemarketers? What about librarian? Now, so we just need to think about it. Things are changing very rapidly, and it's going to impact the future of work. So this is a topic that we must all discuss, and it's the right time for us to discuss that topic. So I don't want to keep going on, Ruth. I'm going to return it back to you. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Dele, for getting us started and probably taking some of us down the memory lane. And I believe there'll be people in this room that reminded them a lot more down the memory lane than probably some of the things that you have mentioned and some jobs that maybe we used to have 10, 15, 20 years ago, but those jobs are no longer here today. So as we go into the next thing that I would like us to talk about, Dele have talked about different things that will be obsolete. But my next question, that this is where I would like you to participate. Can anyone really prepare for the future of work? Let's think about that for a minute. And when we talk about preparing for the future of work, I'm almost saying that future is already here because we're living it in the last 2.5 years. And the other portion of that question would be that, how can we prepare for that future of work? And this is where I need all of you to comment in the chat, or if you want to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll call you. And we'll still come back to you, Dele. Okay, do I see any hands up? Someone type in the chat, essential skills. Yes. Okay, let's go. Do I see any hands? Someone want to comment? Learn and relearn. All right. Okay. Okay, so while others are adding things to the chat, so Dele, let's come to you. How can we prepare for this future of work? And let's discuss that.
Thank you very much. I was also looking into the chat. I saw that Michelle talked about essential skills. So there are skills that are essential for the future of work is part of how we prepare. I saw that Olubinga typed learn and relearn. And in fact, I would say we also need to unlearn because some of the things that we had learned before may not actually serve us into the future. And what this is actually boiling down to is the adaptability piece. So if you look at today's topic, we talk about the future of work and the fact that we need to adapt or become outpaced. So that means that adaptability, like when we talk about what Michelle mentioned there about essential skills, we know that the skills that will support the future of work will be somewhat different or would have to be a little bit elevated for us to be able to cope with that new feature that we're talking about. So we need to adapt. And I wanted to mention this in terms of preparing for the future of work or how we can prepare for the future of work. Gone are those days when people start in a single career discipline and they stayed in it for 35 years. Our parents did it. I know that for a fact. So you'll see people that say, oh, yeah, they're retiring after 35 years or after 40 years. But that is not the case again today. Things have changed significantly. I personally cannot see myself in a single thing for 35 years. That is like a lifetime of practicing something. Many of us will veer into several disciplines in our career life. And it doesn't matter what we study in school. What we study in school or the foundation that we have for our career is only a preparation for us to be able to adapt. So we will see education more from learning the fundamentals. It's most just going to school so that we can acquire that basic foundational knowledge so that we are able to pivot into different things as we face the future of work. So, and in fact, I like to use you as an example, Ruth, if you don't mind. I remember that your training and your professional experience right from the beginning was in geography and also geographic information systems. I know that your bachelor's, your master's were in geography, you have professional certification in GIS. I know that for a fact. But today, you are a quality system manager in a consulting company. So part of the question is, how does somebody who started as a GIS scientist pivots into becoming a quality system manager? I remember those days of transitioning when it was just volunteering to do some continuous improvement work. And then gradually it was like 50% of your time on continuous improvement. And before we knew it, you continue to make that shift until you got fully into quality management and continuous improvement. And it became a full career for you. And that is how it's going to happen to many of us, is the adaptability. You know, when things are changing around us, how well are we prepared to be able to make a shift, to be able to shift our grounds from what we've always known, what we've always done. In the future, we will see a lot of people, and maybe this is already happening, people that will train as maybe a pharmacist, but they will pivot into maybe data science at the end of the day because they use a lot of big data in their work, and then they take interest in the statistical aspect of work and stuff, and then they start doing data science as the mainstay, as the main part of their work. We'll see people that will start as mechanical designers and they will later become renewable energy experts. And that is possible because if you're a mechanical designer, we know that for those renewable energy systems, whether it's a battery or it's wind turbines or whatever it is, we need people in those different fields of engineering. And that will be people that will take interest in the business side of it, and then they become experts in the area. So we'll see all these things continue to go on, which require adaptability. And I'd like to also say that, in fact, most of the jobs of the future are not currently taught in schools anyway. Just think about it. And we may have opportunity to discuss that later when we talk about skills. But the truth is that a lot of the skills or the talents or the knowledge that we require to drive the future of work may not be taught in schools as traditional disciplines today. And it means that it's not just individuals that will need to adapt, even organizations need to adapt, academic institutions need to adapt, all of us need to adapt. And okay, let me give you an example, a question. If I want to become a cloud engineer or someone working in cloud computing, what am I supposed to study in the university? So when most of our universities are just mostly electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, it's computer science, and it's all of that. So you will see that a lot of people that are practicing as cloud engineers or practicing in cloud computing today add some other kind of foundations, but during their career, they begin to pivot into it. Only a few institutions, maybe today I was checking Purdue University in Canada, having some kind of foundational or bachelor's or something in cloud computing, but it's not available everywhere. And that is the same with most of the disciplines of the future. They are not just available yet in many of the institutions. So many of us, we have to grow through it and ensure that we are shifting in the direction that things are going. And saying that, okay, I don't want to be on social media, I'm not that computer savvy, or I want to maintain my privacy, I don't want to be online. In the future, all of us are going to be online. That is the truth. You are saying that you don't want to be on LinkedIn or Twitter or all these things because the profession or the job that you are doing does not require that you must be there. But in the future, we know that even if you are looking for a job, if you are not online, you're not going to find any, because all of the jobs will be advertised on those platforms. And that is how the future is going to be. So I want to say, to prepare for the future of work, adaptability is key, and all of us must focus on it. I think I should give other people opportunities to contribute. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Dilly. I didn't realize that I'll be put on the hot spot like that, but thank you for using me as an example. So I think I would like other people that might want to say something about that to chime in. And the last thing you said there about looking for a job, I remember this past week, I was having a conversation with someone, and they said they usually, when it comes to tender job for construction, infrastructure, they used to put it in the newspaper. That's where the contractors will go and find a tender. But now if today you are a contractor and you need to build anything, you better know how to surf the web and go to places like Merck's, go to places like Beats and Tenders, go to places like Ariba, SAP, and all that. So this future of work is going to impact all of us in diverse ways. And we just need, like everybody mentioned in the chat and what Dele have said, to be prepared and be open-minded, right? We just have to be open-minded and not be, this is how I've always done it. You might be outpaced before you know it. So thank you, Dele, for that contribution. And for those of you that type in the chat, thank you for adding your voice to this topic. To know, oh, I see Vern's hand is up. Let me recognize Vern and go ahead, Vern.
Thank you, Ruth. Dele, I just had a comment as I'm, examining my own career, and I've got a long, long rear view mirror to look at my career. And one thing I think is absolutely critical to the future of work is, as you were mentioning, universities, whether I took mechanical engineering, I took my MBA, all sorts of other stuff. But I think we all have to learn at a young age to learn and to love to learn, because 5 years from now, and I advise my students that I teach, basically what you're learning maybe isn't obsolete, but you, as you were saying, have to adapt and shift. And I got my engineering degree about 30, 40 years ago. If you come out and think the world's going to be stagnant and you don't have to be agile, that old comment about a VUCA environment that's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, that you need to learn to love to learn and continually adapt. And it concerns me when I see students, I got my engineering degree, I'm done learning. That is concerning going forward. So I just wanted to make that comment that us as individuals, what are we passionate about? Are we passionate about evolving, as you're saying, learning, understanding the environment? How do I fit into that environment as we go forward? So that's long-winded. I'll end it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Vern, for that contribution. And yes, like that was what I was saying. But I know some people in the room might have a long rearview mirror to even evaluate what we're talking about, what used to be when they were in school and what it is right now, and how we all have to keep You know, I love what you said. You need to love to learn. So it's not by, I don't think it's by choice anymore, except if you don't want to participate or play where other colleagues of yours might be playing, but you just have to. Thank you for adding that comment. That we appreciate that. So, like Vern said, I won't use the word obsolete. Maybe some jobs will not be obsolete, but we need to focus on the job that will be there in the future. And I would like us to highlight some of those. And that is why, in your opinion, are there jobs of the future? What are those? What are those jobs? So you can type in the chat what you think will be those jobs of the future. So let everyone go in the chat and type that what are the jobs of the future, say, I'll even say 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So let me see your comments in the chat. What are those jobs of the future that you think will be here and maybe we'll start learning in school? All right, let's keep the comment flowing in the chat, and Dale, be prepared to add your thoughts to this. And any other person in the room, please join the conversation and tell us, what are the jobs of the future in your view? Right, I can see people typing. What are the jobs of the future? Go ahead and add it to the chat. Okay. All right. So Dilly, do you want to start while others are typing and adding their thought to autonomous vehicle? Thank you, Benga. That's true. Maybe I won't have to drive my car around by myself anymore. Okay. Thank you, Benga, for adding that. All right. What other jobs will be the jobs of the future? Because some of us will have to probably start preparing our kids to think about those kind of jobs as they grow and go to school on the side. Okay, what are those other jobs? Let's add some thoughts in the comments, please. All right, Dilly, you can get us started into it.
Thank you, Ruth. And I saw what Olubenga just wrote, autonomous vehicle engineer. So, well, maybe some kind of automation should be part of the jobs of the future. And well, it's also been a part of the jobs of today, as we know it. We just know that things are going to be driven more kind of in that direction. So the question that you asked, Ruth, is very specific because you said in your opinion that what are the jobs of the future, say in 20 years' time. And I want to say that unless you are a fortune teller, you may not be able to say specifically what jobs will be there in 20 years. I don't think you can say, oh, these are the 14 jobs that we will now be doing in 20 years. I think it will be a combination of so many things. There will be some of the traditional work that we're doing now will still be there. They will just be done differently. I think there will be so many more opportunities for us in the future. So even though we may not know exactly what are the 25 jobs in 20 years' time, we know that the direction that things are going today, and that can serve as the baseline for us in discussing what will be there in the future. And I just want to present something to you. Well, not, I will just speak about it. So in 2020, 2 years ago, I did a little bit of research on the jobs of the future, and that I documented somewhat fairly elaborately in my book, Be a Change Agent. It's chapter 8. So the chapter 8 was purposefully dedicated to talking about the future of work. And one of the things I did was to drill down to what are the specific jobs of the future. And I did the data across several countries. So this is not limited to maybe US and Canada. We looked at Asia, we looked at Europe, we looked at different countries. And I drilled them down to 7 jobs that I imagine today. And imagine meaning that they are fast growing, they are the jobs that young people really want to get into. There are things that are hot, there are things that are sweet that people just want to do now. And these jobs are changing everything for everybody. And I will give you the 7. Number 1 is artificial intelligence. So AI specialist became the number 1 job in the world that as part of the emerging jobs. And we'll see many, many people in hundreds and thousands trooping into that area. The second one is data science or data engineering. The third one is robotics and automation. And automation doesn't have to be, or robotics doesn't have to be robots working in a factory alone. But we'll see robocalling, we'll see automated data systems and all that. So anything that has to do with automation, not involving human intervention, again, is part of it. Site reliability is part of it. Cybersecurity is part of it. Full stack development. You will see if you go online now, you try to search for jobs, you'll see several jobs of full stack development, full stack engineer, full stack this. I think that's part of the emerging ones. And then the last one is customer service or customer success experience development. You'll see things like user experience and all those kind of things. These are all evolving. Now, one of the questions that should quickly come to mind is, so does it mean that in the future, all of us will have to become to become AI specialists or become robotic programmers and all that? No, not at all. But what we're going to see is an integration of different elements of these emerging technologies or emerging fields. We'll see an integration of them in our jobs every day. So we'll still need lawyers, we'll still need masons, we'll still need carpenters, we'll still need biomedical engineers, we'll still need all of us in different professions. But the truth is that there's going to be a shift in the way we do our everyday work into more of the technology-driven modalities, and we should all be prepared for that. And the pandemic that is just ending has taught us a lot of lessons. So most times when you wanted to see your doctor, you needed to go to the clinic. But we know that telemedicine became something that was embraced then. But in the future, we're going to see medical doctors talking more about data-driven diagnosis. Like I was saying a while ago, that some people go to medical school, they spend maybe 6 years learning about the eye and the structure of the eye, how to recognize how a functioning eye should look, different components and different parts. But with data now, maybe we can do a lot of diagnosis with our eye, which does not require you to be in school for 6 years. Because if we have enough data, then we can use machines to actually understand some of these things. And that is how it's going to happen in so many jobs. We are talking about remote surgery now, where you can actually, the doctor can actually be in a remote location, not even seeing the patient, and they're able to operate on equipment and robots to perform full surgery on people. Now, leave medicine alone, talk about infrastructure development, people that are in civil technology and all those kind of things that have to do with construction infrastructure. We know that technology, like software technology, is driving so many things now. In the past, architects used to draw on big sheets, on big tables, and they had all the measuring equipment, rulers, and all that. It moved to days of CAD, where they were using AutoCAD. But now we're talking about softwares like Revit, and we have a lot of other software that have modularized functions in them. You don't have to design things from the scratch again. You just need to be able to manipulate those software and get something really fantastic from them. Lots of analysis that are driven by data. So that's what we are talking about. In the future, it's going to be like that. Every single job, even if what you do is lawn care, you are the one that carries equipment to people's lawn to cut their grass, you will now have apps that helps you to do that more effectively. I remember 2 days ago, and one of my colleagues is on the call, Olubenga is here, we were at Fort White Alive together for an event, and part of it, we needed to do scavenger hunts. And how did we do it? We basically used an app because, even scavenger hunting in a forest required that we use an app. So, and that is how things are changing for all of us. And I have an advice for people that are young. And well, being young is relative. You may be 60 and young, you may be 20 and young, depending on how you see yourself. So I want to say that in your work, in your school work, in anything you do, learning the emerging skills in your area of vocation is going to be very important to your survival in the future of work. The future of work requires that we continue to learn the skills that make us adapt in that future. If you are going to school, for example, studying for civil engineering, and there is no course, no module in the whole program that teaches you the software that people are using in that field, whether it's for structural engineering or for geotechnical or for municipal development or whatever it is, I think it's time for you to begin to look outside or elsewhere for additional knowledge so that you will be relevant to the future of your profession when you graduate. And the same thing applies to all of us. So in my opinion, because Ruth, you asked for opinions, right? What jobs will be there in 20 years' time, I don't know for sure, but I know that there will be a lot of shifts into data-driven, technology-driven modalities for all of us, and we need to adapt to that future. And with that, I'm going to stop talking for now.
Well, thank you, Dele, for all those contribution, and thank you, Benga, for your thoughts in the chat. And while we're talking, I just I still need everyone to be involved in this. And my nature of job is such that I work with feedback. So I love hearing from people. So you still have to say something. So what I've done is we've talked about the job AI, robotics and all those things and everything that will be the job of the future. We're not sure what they will be, but they're evolving. But I'd like us to talk about the skills. So I'm launching a poll that you should see on your screen. And I'd like you to participate. So what skills do you think will be essential for the future of work? So now let's nail it down. We've talked about the jobs, but what are those skills in your view? I know we've talked about learning, but you can still add that to the poll. So let's type in the poll, what are those skills that you think will be essential for the future of work? And once you type your response, you hit submit, and we can all see other people's contribution on the screen. So let's go ahead. What are those skills that you think will be critical, essential for the future of work? So go ahead and add your thoughts to the poll that is on the screen, and then you can click submit. Okay, I hope you can all see the poll. Okay, coding. Wow. So let's keep adding, and if you see something on the screen that you agree with, you can type it again, and that will make that particular skill to be prominent. Resilience. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, let's add some more. Yeah. So let's add some more to the screen.
Yeah, Ruth, were you open to let us see the results?
Oh, you can't see it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I need to figure out how to put that on the main screen. Okay, I will show. Once everyone is done and I close the poll, I should be able to show it. Okay, thank you for letting me know that you can't see it. It should be showing all the responses on your screen. Okay, critical thinking. All right, so now I have to figure out how to bring it to the other side for you. Okay, I can. Okay, so let me take a few more and I'll drag it to the other screen for you to see. All right. Critical thinking seems to be taking the day, but I'll add that to the other place for you to see shortly. All right, I will close the poll so that we can start moving on. Okay, coding, critical thinking. All right, 9. Okay, can you see the results on the screen? No? Oh, okay, so let me drag it. So that's it. Critical thinking is at the center stage. Can you all see that?
Yeah, we can see it and see me too.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. But critical thinking, so critical thinking is at the center stage, and I see emotional intelligence, collaboration, resilience, and data analytics. So this is what I'll do. I still know how to use my snippet and put it on the screen. It's supposed to show up for everybody. I'm so sorry you couldn't see it, but this is it. That's what the result looks like. Critical thinking is at the center stage, emotional intelligence, collaboration, data analytics, and coding. And with that, I like to say we're all correct, because in 2020, the World Economic Forum, they actually released a report about the top 10 skills that will be relevant and critical for the future of work. And this is what they have. And you can see everything we all mentioned is right on this chart, on this list that the World Economic Forum put together in 2020. And critical thinking is right here. So problem solving will be at the center of everything that we will be doing as part of the future of work. Working with people, self-management, someone typing resilience, and technology. We've talked about technology a lot today. And we all just need to keep participating in one way or the other as we evolve and adapt, which is what we're encouraging everyone to do from today's conversation. So one other thing that I think it will be critical, as you can see, is for you as a person, Dele have said, and we all agree, we're not all going to become AI specialist or cyber security person or data management person or machine learning specialist, but we all need to embrace problem solving. We all need to participate and improve or unlearn, relearn, like we've said. So with that said, I don't know how many of us are really given a thought to problem solving, but I think I have another poll. Which area of problem solving are you most proficient? I know some people, they just identify the problem. So you click whichever one you think you are most comfortable with. You just identify the problem and pass it on, or you will take time to find possible solution or acting on solving the problem yourself, reflecting and identifying lessons learned. So go ahead and click one and submit. And I'll take, now that I know it's not showing on your screen, yes. So go ahead, and we all need to embrace this aspect of problem solving. And I want everybody to participate and tell me, where are you most comfortable? Where are you most proficient when it comes to problem solving? Because out of all the 10 top skills that World Economic Forum put together, problem solving is taking the center stage. And we all need to be prepared for that. We all need to be comfortable to do that, because those are the people that would actually be in charge in the future of work. So 3 responses, whereby level in this.
Ruth, we can see the answers to this one, I believe, in the chat.
Okay, great. That's good. I don't know why the other one didn't show up, but thank you for letting me know. All right, go ahead, and I see 4 people have participated. Think about it. Rate your own problem solving skills. Okay, so most of us, yes, identifying problems, identifying possible solution, and acting on solving the problem. Okay, I think we have the right audience in the room. And whatever stage you have, there is no right or wrong, because sometimes if you're working in a team, you will contribute your own part, right? And in that way, it doesn't really matter where you are, but being aware that there are different ways to engage in problem solving, that's what we're trying to drive at with this poll. All right, with that, I'm going to close the poll and done. So 60% says, yeah, they're comfortable acting on problem solving. And for those that could identify problems, please work with people that will solve the problem, and we all will be better for it. So where do we come in as Prowess Leadership? I will pass that to Dele. I'll give you this slide. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Ruth, and thanks everyone for participating in the discussions so far. I know we have just 1 hour, and this is an interesting topic. I would say that Prowess Leadership is committed to coming back every month to bring up topical issues like this, things that affect our lives, affect our career, affect our future, affect our professions, affect our community. We'll be bringing up those topical issues once in a month, and we're going to be discussing them for 1 hour. So the hour is going. We have just 10 minutes left, and we just want to let you know what we are doing as a team at ProWest Leadership. Recently, we started to partner with the American Society for Quality, which is a global organization with presence in most parts of the world. We have a section in Manitoba, I believe, and Ruth is the section chair of ASQ. So we decided to partner with them to see what we can explore within our own community here and elsewhere in promoting the future of work and getting people ready for the future of work. So it's part of how we give back to the community. And I want to let you know also that if you are attending this program, we don't have any obligation from anyone in terms of whether you need to pay for attendance or anything. This is a free event for all. But if we have opportunities for people in terms of accessing our resources or promoting a program or something like that through ProWest Leadership, we will do that. So Ruth, I would like you to go to the next page. So part of where we are starting with ASQ is the Quality 101 training. So ASQ has a standard training that is offered worldwide, which is where your operational excellence actually starts from. Understanding some of the basic concepts like quality concept, team basics, continuous improvement techniques, and customer relationship, customer supplier relationship, things like that. So this has been packaged by ASQ into their Quality 101 training. And Ruth, having been with ASQ for a while as a certified manager of quality and organizational excellence, is the ASQ representative who is working with them on the Quality 101 training. So we want to let you know that this training is available for anyone across the world to attend, and the price is on the screen. Ruth will be posting things in the link, I believe, just to give us additional information on how you may register for the training if you like. So what do you get for it? You get a lot of knowledge for it. And then you'll get a certificate of completion from ASQ on that. And there will be a few people that want to take that to the next level and they want to get certified with ASQ. I think there's an opportunity to pursue that after the training. So, but the training gives you the basic ingredients that you need to tackle the ASQ certification program later. But for this training, you're going to get a certificate of participation attendance, something of that nature from ASQ. So we just want to let you know that that is available. And also at ProWest Leadership, we have lots of resources. If you go to the next page, Ruth, so we are on LinkedIn and we want you to follow us. We started a page a few months ago, I think, maybe 6 months, 7 months ago. We started the page. You can see we are just 800 and something followers. But we want to grow the page. It's a big community of great people, of leaders and agents of change that we're trying to build. So if you are yet to follow us, please do so. Follow ProWest Leadership. And you also have access to many of our resources. Like I was talking about the book, Be a Change Agent. Chapter 8 talks about the future of work. We talked about future of enterprises, future of learning, future of innovation landscape. And we talked about how to become agents of change generally. So you may want to pick up the book and also the other book, Pursuit of Personal Leadership. So we are here to serve the community, and we are committed to doing this every month, coming back. So the next topic will be advertised soon. I believe it's going to be coming out soon. So watch out from our websites, from our LinkedIn page, from elsewhere, or even Facebook business page for ProWest Leadership. We're going to be advertising the next topic, and we hope to see you there. So thank you, and Ruth, I will give it back to you.
Yes, thank you, Dilly. And I think the next thing is comments and question. If